guys, it's Lexie. A couple of months ago, I had a really traumatic experience involving one of my acrylic nails being ripped out of my finger and like taking my real, actual nail with it. I filmed that video and it started to get a lot of traffic, which was really exciting. So thank you guys if you guys are coming over from that video. Thank you so much. If you guys have not watched that video yet, this one isn't going to make a lot of sense, so please go and check out that video before you go and check out this one. So a bunch of people started commenting on that video, and they were saying, like, it got cut off, and the entire time I was like, yeah, guys, like, my nail got ripped out of my finger, like, that's the whole point of this video, like, I know it's shocking, right? Like, I was thinking they were, like, horrified responses. No, I'm just stupid, and they were actually trying to tell me that the video got cut off halfway, and so it took me, like, a good couple of months to realize that, so I'm really sorry for being a dumb bitch. It happens. I told you guys that I would film an updated version, also finishing off the second half of the video, what happened, just including some pictures. I'm gonna try and remember exactly how, because I would just re-upload the entire video. But I got a new laptop. I lost that footage a long time ago. If this is at a different angle or things are switched around, I just got a phone call, so the video cut off. But anyway, like I was saying, I'm just going to pick right up where I left off in the story. And if you guys have not already seen that story, please go back and watch that, because this is not going to make a lot of sense, although this is part of the best part of the story. So yeah, where I left off was I had just gotten to the urgent care in my area. And so basically, the doctor told me that they didn't want to take my nail completely off, they didn't want to numb my hand or anything, because they did not know if I had lacerations underneath the nail. They didn't know how attached it still was, because every time they would try and like lift the nail, I would scream because I was in like immense amounts of pain. So they were just like, if we take it off and there's like a huge cut on your nail bed, we're not going to know what to do, because we're not nail doctors. We're not trained in that. So what they decided to do was they were like, we can try our best to see if we can like see through it. But the problem was I had black nail polish on my nail. That's why they couldn't see. Yeah, so they told me that they were going to try and take the nail polish off to the best of their abilities. And so again, for like all of my ladies out there who are like watching this and already like cringing at the thought, for those of you who don't know, my nail was completely detached. Like, it had been completely ripped off, like the nail bed, and it was only attached at my cuticle. So the doctor, a different doctor came, I think it may have been like a nurse, and she started like taking my nail polish off, which was fine until she started trying to take the sides off. And the nail polish was getting right in my wound, like my open wound. So I don't think that the nurse really realized how detached this fingernail was. So I would like be like that and like pull away. She was like, I'm so sorry, like I just have to try this like a couple more times. So after like 2 or 3 times of her trying to like get the nail polish off the side of my nail to like the best of her ability, I started like screaming and crying and like almost threw up because I was in just so much pain. And again, like I said this in the last one, I have a really, really I have a really, really high pain tolerance. So like this was really bad, and it was the worst experience of my life. So the nurse laughed and was like, hey, I'm not going to torture you anymore. Like, I'm sorry. And I was like, hey, bye, girly, thanks. And so the other doctor came in, and again, they told me, like, there's not much you can do. Like, we don't know. We still can't see because you didn't let us take the nail polish off because you're in pain, which we get, and, like, we're sorry. Anyway, the doctor basically told me that she could try and get me an appointment with, like, an orthopedist. Orthopedist? Like a bone doctor? Yeah, I can't remember. It's been so long ago. I'm pretty sure it's an orthopedist. But she told me that she could get me an appointment with like a specialized like hand doctor who could like help me out. But the problem was it was going to be tomorrow. Like they couldn't get me in today. So what they told me that they could do is they basically were like, yeah, we're not going to rip the nail out of your hand, but we can give you like Vicodin. We can like wrap your finger up. We can do all of this shit. So what they ended up doing was they like wrapped a piece of tape around my finger to like hold the nail down so it wouldn't like keep popping up. And then they ended up giving me like this finger cast. And this damn finger cast literally made me look like E.T. Like I have pictures where I was like goofing around that night after like the pain started wearing off, or maybe I was just delirious from the pain, where I'm like pretending to be E.T. Like here's a picture of me pretending to be E.T. Now here is a picture of E.T. Like can you see the resemblance? Because I can. Like, fuck. So, I just want to thank the patient first, or, like, urgent care, whatever I went to, for supplying me with next year's Halloween costume. Like, thanks, boo. kisses, like, love you. But for real, like, this thing hurt like a motherfucker, and like it was just this, just imagine this big old cast. I mean, I'm gonna show you. Even my own father was making fun of me for this damn cast. Like, I showed him it and he was just like, ha 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 ha, like a gif of Patrick, like, thank you for things. So the next day I ended up going to the orthopedist, the hand doctor, I don't really know, but I ended up going back to the specialized doctor. And he told me that there were two things that I could do. I had two options. So the first option was that I could just leave the finger alone. I didn't have to do anything. Like, they could just leave it and it would fall out naturally. However, I would be in crazy amounts of pain because the finger could keep getting caught on, you know, anything. Or my second option was that I could get my hand numbed. I could just get the nail ripped out or cut out, whichever way they would do it. And basically I would just have to clean it and wait for a new nail to grow back. So I was a little freaked out going in because I know I have been hurt a lot. That sounds really bad every time I say it. I've broken 9 bones in my life. I've gotten like water stitches. I was a wild child, still am, but like I always was getting hurt. That's my point. Something that I know is that when you get like stitches or something like that, often they like do the numbing shot like in the wound, which I was like could not even imagine. Like, I was freaking out just about the thought that they would have to like shoot a needle in like my open finger, like, ow, bitch, ow. And so basically I like asked the doctor, I was like, so we're numbing this finger, where the fuck are we gonna numb it, because I don't want it to be like in my finger. And he told me, he was like, no, that would be way too painful, like you would actually pass out probably from that amount of pain. But that instead they just numbed my hand. And so I was like, good, let's just cut this bitch out and we can start all over. Like, I'm not gonna wait the 2 fucking weeks for it to grow out and fall out by itself. Like, that just sucks. That's so painful. So they numbed my hand and my hand swelled up so much. Like, and it ended up hurting too, like once the numbing stuff went away. I didn't want to look at this, but my mom and my grandma were in the room with me. They actually drove down to come check up on me and make sure that I was like doing fine, because I was in like a really I was hurt, y'all. I was struggling. And so, but I was kind of glad because they got to watch and like tell me what was happening, because I was like, I don't even want to look at it. So he numbed my hand and my doctor was like, well, let me just see like how detached this is, like how disconnected it is. And he lifted my fingernail literally to like a 90-degree angle. Like, he was just like, yep, it's only attached at the cuticle. And the plan was for him to like cut it out. Like, if it was like only attached like halfway, to cut it, just like to get the fingernail out. And he was like, but hang on, like, let me just see, like, she's not gonna feel it, so let me just like humor myself. And he like wiggled the fingernail and it just went and completely pulled out. Like, it was only attached at the cuticle. And like, if I hadn't been in so much pain, I could have just ripped it out myself. So after that, I'll like show you a picture of what it looked like. This is like a soaking solution that they had, like an antibacterial solution that they had me soak it in. That's what my finger looked like. I will be showing pictures. I'm trying to remember, probably this is at like the 2-week mark is where this picture is from. I can try and see if I have like more. I wish I had documented it better, honestly, but definitely that happened. So this picture that I'm showing you guys like right now, or just showed you, is my fingernail. Like, my finger had dried out and basically just like left a scab on the top. After about like a month and a half, the scab completely fell off. There was like an exposed nail bed. It was tender, like it was not like a shooting pain like I experienced before, but it was tender, like if I tried to like type and do stuff like that, or like use my pointer finger. So it took about 2 months for the nail to start to grow in. And they had basically told me that it would take 3 months altogether. This happened back in October. It is just now March. So this is my fingernail. I finally went back to the nail salon, a different one, but I still went back to the nail salon, and it got painted because I wanted you guys to be able to see it a little bit better. So this is what my nail looks like. It's almost fully grown back. Like, I mean, it is grown back. It's just not as long as I would like. But so yeah, it thankfully is grown back. All of my friends refer to it as my nub because it is like so small. I got acrylic nails back on. A dumb bitch. Like, no one ever said that I made good decisions, but I make, you know, decisions. So, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I did not get an acrylic nail on this one because I'm still traumatized, and the nail lady was like, why do you only want one nail, like, not to be acrylic? And I had to like tell her this, and she was like, oh my god, like, everyone who I would tell this story to would just like either wince in pain, tell me to shut up and stop talking about it because they just like did not want to hear it, or were just like horrified. Like, it was definitely the worst experience of my life. Well, actually that's not true, but it was one of the worst experiences and one of the most intense pains that I've ever felt. My best friend, Meryl, actually was telling me that her aunt had the same thing happen to her on her wedding day. Like, imagine all of this taking place, like, on your wedding day. Like, I feel so bad for you. Like, God bless you. But, not only that, her aunt did say, because Meryl asked her, she was like, oh my God, the only thing that is worse, like, she was like, the two worst pains in the world is getting your nail ripped out, done, and, like, childbirth. Haven't done that yet. Will in the future, but, like, 19 years old, don't have a man to love, but like, you know, eventually we'll get there, hopefully, fingers crossed. But yeah, so apparently those are the two worst pains in the world. So so anyway, I hope that this update kind of like helped you guys. My nail, you know, it doesn't hurt anymore. It stopped hurting after like the second month, or stopped being like tender after the second month. Explaining to people that like what happened was always hard. I think one of the scariest moments was my finger did get slightly infected at one point, and I can like show you a picture here, because I had kept the Band-Aid on for it too long. Too much moisture was like getting into the wound, which was starting to infect it, and that was really scary just because, you know, the thought of if your finger gets infected that you could like lose the tip of your finger or like lose your entire finger, like that's really scary, all from a acrylic nail. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that this update was good. I'm really sorry that this has taken so long for me to upload. I'm really sorry that I'm stupid and didn't realize that the video had cut off until like a month ago. So yeah, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel for more videos from your girl, from me. Bye guys, thanks so much.